the listening test. So I want you to pay attention. I want you to listen carefully. I want you to apply all what we learned during the previous part of our session. Actually, in this part, we're going to have a lot of practices. We're going to have practices covering different types of questions. Also, most of these exercises are from previous tests, extracts of previous tests. So actually, they are test-based questions. I want you to listen carefully. I want you to think carefully, okay, before you give your answer. So let's have a look. We're going to have a full test, by the way. So I want you, let's go ahead. Okay, let's have a look at this part. This is part number 1, by the way. And one of the most important things that you need to look at what? At the instructions. So the instructions are saying what? No more than 2 words and or a number. So in this case, you have 5 options, by the way. I mean that your answer may take the form of one of 5 forms. You know? Number 1, 1 word only. It's okay. Number 2, 2, or let me say 1 word and a number. 1 word plus number. Number 3, 2 words. Number 4, 2 words plus number. And number 5, just a number. So your answer is going to be one of these 5 options. Okay, clear? So can I write 3 words? No, your answer is going to be considered what? Your answer is going to be considered incorrect in this case. Okay, great. Let's move on. Now we're going to do what? Analyze the question. Dubai Palm apartment. What does it mean by apartment? Apartment is a kind of what? It's a kind of hotel, flats. Okay, very good, very good, very good. So you're gonna hear a man phoning to ask about a holiday apartment before you listen and answer this question. Okay, forget about that. And 2 words and a number. No more than 2 words and or a number. So I can add a number, no problem. Inquiry, you know, inquiry is what? Inquiry is a kind of questionnaire, you know, questionnaire, yes, seeking information by asking question. Very good, Mr. Hadi. Yes, questionnaire. Okay, and the person who took the questionnaire is called what? It's called Amanda, right? And she is a girl, so 100% the other speaker is going to be what? It's going to be a man, yes, very good. And now we need to get the name of this man. So 100% you are going to listen to the spelling out of this man. And by the way, this is one of the most common questions in part number 1. So you're going to listen to the spelling out of specific names, right? So I'm going to write the name of this man. So I want you to write what I say, okay? I mean that they are going to give you the spelling and you need to write the spelling. So I want you to write what I say, okay? Double M. It's easy, right? Double N. It's easy as well. Double L. Okay. Double O. Good. W. Great. W. So that's it. Please stop posting now. So again, I said double O, W, and W. So it's extremely important to listen well. It's extremely important to listen well to the spelling out of the name. Otherwise, you are going to make some mistakes. Okay, so again, double O, W, and then W. W. This is the letter W. Okay, I want you to write the following as well. I want you to write double B. Double B. Thank you. And double P. Double P. It's going to be PP. So it's important to differentiate or distinguish between these two sounds as well. Double B and double P. P, 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 and B. So I say, for example, Pepsi and Bock. B. Great. Good. Address, you know the address is the place where someone lives, right? And you have, we're going to write what here? Can you make a guess? Are we going to write a name or a number? And I mean a noun or a number? But we have the number here. So 100% we're going to write what? If you look here, you will find that we have the number. So it's a mixture, of course, but you got to write a name of the street, for example, a noun, I mean. Telephone number, 100%, I'm going to write what here? So as long as it is a number, so 100%, I'm going to write what? I'm going to write a number. So I want you to write the following number, okay? Okay, 053, 053, 053, 22, 111, 51. Good. So again, 053, 22, 111, right? 51. So actually part of this number is my number. Okay, so the first and the last three numbers are my contact number, by the way. Okay, so 0 or O, which of them? Both are correct, but actually in the listening test, you will listen to O. So if you are doing the computer test, I'm going to write O or 0. Yeah, what do you think? Of course, you need to write 0. 0. Never write. So never write. Okay. So in the computer test, you're going to write 0. Never write not O. O is wrong. Okay, clear?
And double 1 means to write number, double 2 means to write number 2 twice, and triple 3 means to write number 1, sorry, 3 times. Okay, I think it is clear. Good, let's move on. Okay, so starting, number of people. So this is a piece of information given to you. How many people are going to be there? There are 4 people. Okay, great. Starting date. What are you find here? Can you make a guess? In the starting date, I'm going to have number or a word, but you have given the month. Okay, you are going to be given, you are given the month. Yeah. So look here, keep in mind that when I say first, you know, first, maybe 1st of January. So 1st of equals what? You know, it equals 1 and then ST. So we just take the last 2 letters, okay? And we have 2nd of, okay? So 2nd equals 2 with ND. And we have 3rd, okay? 3rd of, so 3rd equals 3 and RD. And what about 4th? 4th is going to be 4 and TH, right? What about 21st? It is going to be like that, 2, 1 and ST. It's going to be the same, okay? So which is better, to write 1st of or to write 1 ST? Both are correct, by the way. Both are correct. What about the numbers? What about the numbers here? For example, in this one, in number 5, length of stay. It's going to be a number, right? A number and a word. Yeah. For example, I'm going to write something like 2 weeks, 3 months, right? So if I have 3 weeks, is it correct to write 3, or is it better to write 3 like that, or to write 3 weeks like that? Which one is much more correct? Which one is much more correct? Actually, both are correct. But which one is much more safer? The second one. To write the numbers, or to write numbers in digits, not in words, okay? So here I wrote number 3 in words, but here I wrote number 3 in digits. So writing them in digits will help you avoid what? You know? Writing them in digits will help you to avoid what? Yeah, mistakes in what? Typos or spelling mistakes. That's it. Great. Great. I think it is clear. I'm going to erase that. Okay, no problem. No issue. No issue. Okay, now let's have a look here. Maximum price per day. So the price per day is going to be maximum what? But no, you cannot write like that. Yes, I'm going to write a number because I have the currency here. The currency is euros, right? So I'm going to write the number. And the price per day for the suitable price for whom? For the speaker or for the addressee? I mean that the person who is going to dwell. Of course, for the person who is speaking, okay? Sonel, 100% you are going to be given the currency. So don't worry about that, okay? I mean the sign. If you talk about the sign, the dollar sign or the euro sign or the pound sign, they are going to be given to you. Okay, now fully equipped. If you are going to hire a flat in a hotel, what or which part of the flat you want to be fully equipped? Yeah, fully equipped what? I want to make a guess here. Fully equipped kitchen, very good. Furniture, maybe. Great, your answers are great one. Facilities, okay. Dining room, okay. Raffle, okay. What else? Okay, very good. If you are gonna hire a flat, what view you want to see? A view of what? Of sea, good. The ocean, perfect. Swimming pool. Can I say the swimming pool? Can I write view of the swimming pool? No, why? Yes, because I need just 2 words. Okay, great. Great. And the air conditioning must be what? Can you make a guess about that? The air conditioning, the AC must be what? Functional, okay. Off, why not? Cold, perfect, working. Available, okay. Automated, maybe. Centralized, right? Centralized, right? Okay. And what do you want for your car? You will need parking, okay. You need service. You need gas. You need keys for your cars. Umbrella, okay. Okay. Now let's move on. I think now you have a very clear idea about this part, right? This part is extremely clear for you. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, let's move on. Now we're gonna listen, by the way. So I want you to listen carefully. Okay, clear? Ready? Are you ready for that? Okay, let's go ahead. By the way, during this part, I'm gonna disable the chat box, okay? Because as I said, please never write answers because we are gonna reveal the answers. We're gonna discuss the answers once we finish this part. So I'm gonna disable the chat box and I'm gonna enable it at the end of this part. And I'm gonna mute myself. So if you can hear well, just raise your hand to let me know. And I am following you I'm following myself from another device. Anyway, I will be very grateful if you switch off your cameras, please, 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 please. Switch off your cameras. Okay. I didn't start yet, so you can raise your hand when you listen to that. Okay. Let's go ahead.
Amanda, I'm ringing to inquire about a holiday apartment.
Okay, no problem. let me get your details first, then I'll tell you what we've got. Is that all right?
Fine, go ahead.
Okay. Can I have your name first, please?
Yes, it's Leo Blücher. That's Leo. That's my first name. And my surname is Blucher.
Okay, I've got that. Where are you from, just out of interest, Leo?
I'm Austrian.
Right, okay. And what's your address?
It's number 37, Blumengasse in Vienna.
Right. Could you just spell Blumengasse for me, please, Leo? My German's not too good.
Sure. It's BLUMENGASSE.
Great, thanks. And what's the weather like in Vienna at the moment?
It's pretty grey and rainy, I'm afraid. Hope it's better in Dubai.
Yes, it's lovely at the moment. Sunny and warm, but not too hot. Now, can you give me your phone number?
Yes, it's 4312 11057.
Great. So, you're looking for a holiday apartment, Leo. How many people is it for? Just yourself?
No, there'll be 4 of us, 2 adults and 2 children.
Fine. And when would you like it from?
Ideally from the 1st of January.
January the 1st. Okay. I'll have a look and see what we've got. How long would you like to stay?
Well, it depends a little bit on the price, but I think that about 9 days would be perfect.
Fine. And talking of prices, what would be your maximum, do you think?
Well, I've looked on the internet, but I don't know if I'm being realistic if I say 200 euros per day. Things seem to range from 150 to well over 400.
Well, it depends where, of course, but I think we could probably find something for you at that price.
Great. There are various other things, though. Our children are quite small, and we don't want to take them to restaurants all the time. So one thing we'd really appreciate is a fully equipped kitchen so we can do some cooking.
Yes, I completely understand. Do you have any other special requirements?
Yes, we live in the city centre, hundreds of miles from the sea, so we'd really like to be able to see it from our apartment.
Okay, I'll note that down. All our apartments come with air conditioning and central heating, by the way.
Oh dear, one thing I don't like is the noise of air conditioning in the background. Can you make sure it's as quiet as possible?
Yes, I'll look into that. Anything else?
Yes, just one more thing. We'd like to hire a car while we're in Dubai, so we'll need to have a parking space, I think. We don't want to have to walk a long way from the car to the apartment.
I think you're quite right. I'll look into all these things and make a list of possible apartments. Do you have an email address so I can send them to you?
Okay. So let me enable the chat box. I think this one is a piece of cake for you, right? I think it's clear, easy, direct. You have no issues, right? Okay. So you're able to listen well. You're able to. Yeah, great. So let's reveal the answers. His name is Leo Plutcher, and I think that the spelling out of his name was very clear. And number 2, yes, it is Blumengasse. By the way, Blumengasse should be one word. He seems to make a pause, but it should be one word. And this is the number. And 1st of January. And 9 days, by the way, the word 9 can be written in number or digits, as I said, in a word or a digit. And the maximum is 200 euros. By the way, this point is a little bit confusing because he said things range between 150 up to 400. But this is about what he found when he searched the internet. But when he spoke about himself, he said that ideally 200 yards, okay? And yes, a fully equipped kitchen. View of, by the way, you can write C or you can write the C. I bought the word the between two parentheses between, you can use it or not. And the air conditioning must be quiet. By the way, some people may write it with TE, and this is wrong. It should be IET. And the last one, he need what? What for his car? Yeah. Just give me your suggestions. Parking space is also correct. Space is also correct. So you have three options, actually. You can write parking space, parking, or the word space. So all these options are correct. By the way, any of these answers is a correct answer. You can write 1st of January, by the way, no issue. So no, it's clear. So just tell me how many correct answers did you get in this part? How many correct answers? 9, 10, 9, 10. Okay, great. You did a great job, actually. I'm so happy about that. Okay, let's move on because we have, we do not have a lot of time. Okay, let's move on. Ready? Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So here we have a dialogue, okay, between a man and a woman as well. So let's have a look here. We need to analyze that quickly because we're short of time, as I said. So let's do that. Ready? Okay, let's analyze. So his name is Sanjay, and then I'm gonna listen to his what? Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna listen to the last name or the surname. Very good. And his age. So something, is it necessary for me to write years? I'm going to write a number. Yes. For example, 29, 39, okay, 38. So I'm going to write a number. Okay. Is it necessary to write the word years? Is it necessary? No. And if you write it, it's okay, no problem. I mean that if you write, for example, 38 years or write 38, it's okay. Occupation means what? Occupations is a job title. Very good. Or a job, a kind of work. You can write all in capital letters, no issues, as I said. You know, what is an expedition? Expedition is a kind of what? It is a kind of trip. Yes, it's a kind of trip, but for a scientific purpose. So again, expedition is a kind of trip that is made for a scientific purpose, okay? So number one, he has crossed what? A name of what here? A name of? A place. Crossed a river, crossed a desert, crossed something, right? And he has climbed mount. As long as you have the word mount, that means you are going to write what? The name of a mountain. The name of a mountain. Very good. Let's move on. By the way, we started a new test. So I want you to concentrate and I want you to count your correct answers. Regarding the skills, he has done a specific course. So can you make a guess of a name of a course? Like what? Which is important for scientific expeditions. What course? IELTS course, of course, it's not important. But man, who knows? Okay. Survival, diving, English course, okay. Okay. So can speak how many languages? First aid course, it's perfect. Emergency course, computer course. Can I say speak English and Arabic? Can I say he is going to speak English and Arabic or English and Germany, English and French? No, because I have to write no more than 2 or words and or a number, okay? Anthropology, okay. Degree in, you know, a degree means what? A certificate. This is his qualification. He has a certificate, diploma certificate, PhD in what? In a specific major. And free time activity. What are other words that can use instead of free time? So I can say free time. I can say leisure time. I can say spare time. And activities means hobbies. So what hobbies people have? Watching movies, reading, writing, swimming. Keeping what? Keeping what? Keeping fit. keeping things, okay, keeping pets, right? Keeping healthy. Okay, I think it is clear for you right now, right? So let's move on to listen to the track. Are you ready? So I'm gonna disable the chat box. Let's move on.
Track 11. Unit 2. Listening. Exercise 7.
Hello?
Hi, Clive, is that you?
Yes, hi, Debbie.
Did you manage to see those candidates for our expedition?
Yes, I did, and there was an extra one who was quite a surprise. You know, he hadn't applied, and he just turned up out of the blue, so we haven't got any details for him.
Really? Tell me about him.
Okay, and you can take some notes, then we'll see what we think.
Fine.
First, he's called Sanjay Debashi.
Okay, Sanjay is spelled S-A-N-J-A-Y, right?
Correct. And Dubashi is D-U-B-A-S-H-I.
D-U-B-A-S-H-I. Fine, thanks. I'm just getting that down. And did you find out how old he is?
Sure, he's round about our age, you know. Well, a couple of years older. He's 27. Quite a big man, quite muscular, impressive, with a big moustache.
And what does he do?
Well, actually, he just says he's an office worker, you know, just one of those people with quite a routine job in an office.
Doesn't sound like he finds his job very interesting. Has he got any experience, do you know, of going off to remote places on foot?
Yes, he's been all over the place. He was telling me all about a trip he made in a Land Rover across Central Africa from one side to the other, which sounded pretty exciting and dangerous.
Great. I think it would be really interesting to cross Central Africa. I'd love to do that. Anything physical? I mean, where he actually had to walk instead of driving? You know, being so muscular, as you say.
I was coming to that. Last year, he went to Russia with some friends in their summer holidays, and they went up a mountain. Let's see, Mount Elbrus, it's called.
Wow, now that's really quite something. By the way, Elbrus is spelled E-L-B-R-O-S, isn't it?
Not quite, it's U.S.
Ah, okay. What qualifications does he have which would interest us? Has he done any sort of specialist training, for example?
Well, he's done a course in first aid, which may be pretty useful. If any of us get injured, he should know what to do.
Good. It might be useful to have someone who knows how to do first aid in case someone has an accident. Can he swim?
I didn't ask now you mention it. I forgot. But he did tell me he can hold conversations in 5 languages. He's not fluent in all of them, but he can get by. He grew up in India, and I suppose that helps, you know, for learning languages, though now he lives over here.
Right. What else? Has he been to university, for instance?
Yes, he graduated in media studies, though he says he's never worked in the media.
Okay. And when he's not off on expeditions to remote places, what does he like doing in his spare time?
He seems to do all sorts of things. One thing he told me, which could be useful, is that he likes fishing.
Yes, we'd better tell him to bring his fishing rod. That is, if we choose him.
And he seems to spend a lot of time at the gym. He says he really likes to keep fit. And when you meet him, you'll believe it's true.
Great. Another fitness fanatic like you. Well, sounds like I should meet him, doesn't it? When can you fix that up?
Okay, I think that this is another easy part, isn't it? Okay, let's reveal the answers. I think that this part is extremely easy. That's why I say that actually I want you to work hard on yourselves until you are pretty sure that you are going to get 0 mistakes in this part. Here are the answers. I want you to check the answers. By the way, here there was some kind of self-correction. I think that you noticed that. So it's extremely important. By the way, for the first aid, the word first aid, it could be written in 3 ways. First aid as 1 word, first aid as 2 words, first aid as a hyphenated word. Okay. Yes. How many correct answers did you get here? Yes. How many correct answers? Great, great, great. Now most of you were able to get 10 out of 10. Great, great. You can write 5 in numbers, of course. Yes, you can write 5 in numbers. It's correct. Great. I think it's easy, right? So now we're going to move to part number what? Part number 2. No, it's still part number 1. So now we're going to move to part number 2. Okay. So let's have a look at part number 2. Aid with E is not correct. If you mean that you can leave a space, yes, it's okay. You can leave a space. Now we're going to listen to this part. This is part number. You need to, Basmala, you need to work on yourself actually regarding this point. Yeah. Actually, most Arabs are unable to differentiate between them. So, actually, they need to work hard on themselves to differentiate between them. Okay, let's move on. So let's paraphrase. Let's analyze this part. Okay, so here you will find one of the tricks. You know what is this trick? You will listen to a lot of irrelevant points. Okay, here before you reach the part that may carry the answer. What is the first answer? It's many different. It is a park. Okay, we're talking about a park. So here we have 3 different parks, 3 different what? 3 different parks. So as long as it's a park, many different what in the park? Can you make a guess about that? Yeah, my voice is not clear, really? I cannot believe that. No, my voice is extremely clear. I'm following myself from another. Yes, yeah. Okay, so many different what? Ali, check your device. Many different activities. Okay, what else? It's a park, dear brothers and sisters. So in the park you can find different what? Different animals, different trees. Okay, different. Yeah, I know that my voice is clear. I think that my voice is clear to you all. I can hear myself well. Okay, I am following myself, and I find it's crystal clear actually. Yes. So, and the timing, the opening times between what and what? It may be between an hour and another. For example, between 5 and 9, or between a day and a day. So this is going to be between 2 days, right? So between 2 days or between 2 hours. So for example, between 2 days, something like Saturday to Thursday. Okay. So as for Longfield Park reconstruction means what? What is another word can be used instead of reconstruction? Renovation. You know the word renovation. Yes, renovation. Very good. Rebuilt of something which is 2,000 years old. They are going to rebuild something which is 2,000 years old, and it has a lot of activities for whom? For the children. Okay. Ready? Let's listen to this part, and then we are going to complete. Okay. Please do not send the answers. Please do not send the answers until I stop and I say I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, clear?
Section 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 13.
Hello, I'm delighted to welcome you to our wildlife club and very pleased that you're interested in the countryside and the plants and creatures of this area. I think you'll be surprised at the variety we have here, even though we're not far from London. I'll start by telling you about some of the parks and open spaces nearby. One very pleasant place is Halland Common. This has been public land for hundreds of years, and what you'll find interesting is that the River Ouse, which flows into the sea 80 kilometres away, has its source in the common. There's an information board about the plants and animals you can see here, and, by the way, the common is accessible 24 hours a day. Then there's Holt Island, which is noted for its great range of trees. In the past, willows were grown here commercially for basket making, and this ancient craft has recently been reintroduced. The island is only open to the public from Friday to Sunday because it's quite small, and if there were people around every day, much of the wildlife would keep away. From there, it's just a short walk across the bridge to Longfield Country Park. Longfield has a modern replica of a farm from over 2,000 years ago. Children's activities are often arranged there, like bread making and face painting. The park is only open during daylight hours, so bear that in mind if you decide to go there.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 14 to 20.
Okay, so we are going to have the time. Okay, so the answer of the first question is question number 11. Yeah, many different trees, and the opening times from Friday to Sunday, and reconstruction of a farm in British English, which is a farm. I think this part is clear as well, right? Now let's move to the second part. Yes, actually in this part you need to, let me tell you something here. Actually, this part, which is the multiple choice part, this type of questions is extremely important to do what? Yes, it is arranged, as I said. You will listen to the answers one by one. So you will not listen to the answer of 13 before 11. Keep that in mind. As I said, here you need, for this type of questions, you need to look for, highlight Monday's activity. So what will happen in Monday's activity? Visitors will prepare food, and this will be with herbs, using herbs, okay? Or they will meet, not watch, by the way. They will meet a well-known herbalist, meet him. Or they will dye cloth using herbs. What does it mean by dye cloth? To give what? To give what to the cloth? To give color. What about the activity on Wednesday? On Wednesday, what will happen? Okay, so on Wednesday, they will only group bookings are accepted, or you should book in advance, or the attendance is free attendance. I mean that they will pay nothing. What about the Saturday activity? You need to come in some suitable clothing. You need to wear some suitable cloth, or you need to stay for the whole day, or you need to tell them the event, what they wish to do. You need to tell what you wish to do. Okay, so one of the most important points here, both American and British spellings are okay, no issue. Do not worry about that. You can use any of them. I mean that you can write color, C-O-L-O-R or C-O-L-O-U-R. Both are correct, okay? Both spellings are correct, no issue. So one of the pieces of advice that you need to keep in mind regarding MCQs is that you need to exclude while listening. I mean that I need to exclude some answers. I need to exclude some options. I have 3 options here. So while listening, I'm going to exclude some of them. And one of them is going to be the correct answer, as I said. Okay, ready? Let's listen to this part.
Longfield Park has a programme of activities throughout the year, and to give you a sample, this is what's happening in the next few days. On Monday, you can learn about herbs and how they've been used over the centuries. You'll start with a tour of our herb garden, practice the technique of using them as colour dyes for cloth, and listen to an illustrated talk about their use in cooking and medicine. Then on Wednesday...
So, will you prepare food with herbs here? Yes or no? Will you prepare? No. You are going to listen to a documentary about how they are used to prepare food. Will you meet a well-known herbalist? Of course, no. But you are going to practice. When I say practice, means that you are going to do that yourself. Practice color dye. Color dye is dyeing cloth with herbs. Okay, clear? Let's go on.
You can join local experts to discover the variety of insects and birds that appear in the evening. We keep to a small number of people in the group, so if you want to go, you'll need to phone the park ranger a few days ahead. There's a small charge which you should pay when you turn up.
So the question is the attendance free? Is the attendance free? No, because they're going to pay a few charge. And now, are only group bookings allowed? No, you can come individually. But the most important point is that you need to book some days ahead, which means what? To book in what? Book in advance. Yes, that's it. Let's move on.
I'm sure you're all keen to help with the practical task of looking after the park. So on Saturday, you can join a working party. You'll have a choice of all sorts of activities, from planting hedges to picking up litter. So you'll be able to change from one to another when you feel like it.
So, is it necessary for you to tell the rangers before the event what you wish to do? Is it necessary? No, because you can change from one activity to another, right? Good.
The rangers will be hard at work all day, but do come and join in, even for just a short while.
So is it necessary for you to stay for the whole day? No, it is not.
One thing, though, is to make sure you're wearing something that you don't mind getting dirty.
You need to wear something that you do not mind if it gets dirty. So what is the correct answer here? It's A. Yes. I think this part is clear for you, right? This part is clear for you. You have no issue. Until now, everything goes well, right? Go ahead. Okay, very good, very good. Now let's move on. We're going to move to a very important question, a very important type of questions, which is what? Labeling a map. A lot of people actually may find this this part as a difficult one. I mean that they are afraid of maps. Okay. Yes, I'm going to provide you with I already provided you with different links to practice IELTS, but I'm going to provide you with another one. Don't worry. Okay, just hold on. So a very important point regarding maps is what? Is to know some important points regarding the map itself. Okay. So number one, you need to do what? You need to know from what are the main entrances. Okay. So here, the first is the gate, and we have the west gate. So these are the main two entrances, right? So it's important to know from where to enter the place. And after that, you need to focus your mind on the main features. I mean, the main places found in the map. What are the main two places here? Number one, the lake, and number two, the refreshments. Okay. So these are the two main places. Why? Because I may say what? It is on the right of the lake. So this is going to be what? Okay, I'm going to do that, Mr. Osama. Don't worry. Okay. It's D. And if I say it's on the left of the lake, it's going to be D, not D. It's A. Very good. If I say it's on the right of the refreshments, and it is going to be I. Yes, great. So also you need to keep the main directions in mind. So north, east, west, south. And also you need to keep the peripheral points. Okay, I mean, what about the peripheral points? This part is called what? You know? It's called the... Yeah. Yeah. Northeast. Yes, that's it. It's the northeast. And here we have what? Here we have the northwest. Yes. And here we have the southeast. And here we have the southwest. Okay, I think it's clear, right? Clear. And also, you need to learn about the prepositions of place. Something like behind, you know, behind, and in front of. These are examples, of course. Something like near, okay, close to, okay, along, opposite, next to, right, below or beneath. Okay, so these are just examples. For more examples, you can. I already posted a very important PDF regarding maps listening and listening. You can check the Telegram channel. You will find it. It's a very important. It's a very beneficial PDF. Actually, it's gonna facilitate the map a lot for you. Okay. I'm gonna erase that so you can take a screenshot if you want. Okay. Let's go ahead. Good. So what are the places I need to mark on the? We have 4 places: bird hide, dog walking area, flower garden, and wooded area. So you are going to listen to them one by one, right? I want you to listen carefully. I want you to keep that in mind, okay? I will be very grateful if one of you just downloaded the PDF for the maps, okay, for the maps in the listening test, and just send it via the Telegram, via the WhatsApp group for those who are not able to reach the Telegram channel, okay? Let's start. Please do not send the answers. We're gonna wait for a while, okay? Let's go ahead.
Section 2. You will hear a man giving a talk to new...
I'd like to tell you about our new wildlife area, Hinchingbrook Park, which will be opened to the public next month. This slide doesn't really indicate how big it is, but anyway, you can see the 2 gates into the park and the main paths. As you can see, there's a lake in the northwest of the park with a bird hide to the west of it at the end of a path. So it'll be a nice, quiet place for watching the birds on the lake. Fairly close to where refreshments are available, there's a dog walking area in the southern part of the park, leading off from the path. And if you just want to sit and relax, you can go to the flower garden. That's the circular area on the map, surrounded by paths. And finally, there's a wooded area in the western section of the park, between 2 paths. Okay, that's enough
clear,
from
right?
me. So
I think you have no issues regarding that. So very, very close to the refreshment area. Okay, sorry. Yes, so the bird hide is to the west of the lake. Okay, right?
That is the end of section 2.
No,
You now have half a minute to check your
Why it
answers.
is difficult? Yes. And then F, and then E. I think it is clear for you. Okay, let me repeat this part, although we do not have that enough time. But I'm gonna repeat it. Okay,
There's a dog walking area. And finally, I'd like to tell you about our new... This slide doesn't really indicate how big it is, but anyway, you can see the 2 gates into the park and the main paths. As you can see, there's a lake in the northwest of the park with a bird hide to the west of it at the end of the path. So it'll be a nice, quiet place for watching the birds on the lake. Fairly close to where refreshments are available, there's a dog walking area in the southern part of the park, leading off from the path. And if you just want to sit and relax, you can go to the flower garden. That's the circular area on the map, surrounded by paths. And finally, there's a wooded area in the western section of the
western?
park between
It is
two
between two
paths.
paths.
Okay,
First
that's
path,
enough from me.
This is the
So
second one,
let's get on.
and the wooded area is between them. I think now it is very clear to you, right?
That is the end of section 2. You now have...
Now let's move to part number 3, okay? So in part number 3, actually, we have 2 different types of questions. I'm so sorry about that. So the first of them is... I'm here. Okay, so now, as I said, we have 2 different types of questions. The first is MCQs, and the second one is multiple, fill in the blank. Okay, so as I said, for the MCQs, you need to analyze both the answers and the question itself, or the options and the question. So let's have a look here. Students want to keep the self-access center. Why? Do they enjoy the variety of equipment? So when I say enjoy the variety of equipment, it means that there are different types of equipment, right? For example, like computers, DVDs, CDs, so that's all. And when I say work on their own, that means they share the equipment or not. They share the equipment or not. No, because on their own means alone. It's important part of their studies. What is another word for important part? We said that work on their own means alone, right? So on their own means alone. And important part means major part, right? Essential, crucial, right? Essential or crucial, vital. Okay, what about the teachers? The teacher like to do what? Prefer means like to do what? To close the center, move it elsewhere, or to restrict access to the center. And what about the students' concern? So I'm talking about the students' concern about what? About the library. Is it the size, or getting help, or lack of materials? And what about the director concern? Is it the cost, or is it the space of the center, or supervising the center? We're going to listen to this part, okay? I think it is clear now, right? I think we analyzed it well. Let's listen.
Answer questions 21 to 24.
Okay.
Hi, Yun. As you know, I've asked you here today to discuss the future of our self-access centre. We have to decide what we want to do about this very important resource for our English language students. So, can you tell me what the students think about this?
Well, from the students' point of view, we would like to keep it. The majority of students say that they enjoy using it because it provides a variation on the classroom routine, and they see it as a pretty major component of their course. But we would like to see some improvements to the equipment, particularly the computers. There aren't enough for one each at the moment, and we always have to share.
Well, yes, the teachers agree that it is a very valuable resource, but one thing we have noticed is that a lot of the students are using it to check their personal emails. We don't want to stop you students using it, but we think the computers should be used as a learning resource, not for emails. Some of us also think that we could benefit a lot more by relocating the Self-Access Centre to the main university library building. How do you think the students would feel about that, Yun?
Well, the library is big enough to incorporate the Self-Access Centre, but it wouldn't be like a class activity anymore. Our main worry would be not being able to go to a teacher for advice. I'm sure there would be plenty of things to do, but we really need teachers to help us choose the best activities.
Well, there would still be a teacher present and he or she would guide the activities of the students We wouldn't just leave them to get on with it.
Yes, but I think the students would be much happier keeping the existing setup. They really like going to the self-access centre with their teacher and staying together as a group to do activities. If we could just improve the resources and facilities, I think it would be fine. Is the cost going to be a problem?
It's not so much the expense that I'm worried about, and we've certainly got room to do it, but it's the problem of timetabling a teacher to be in there outside class hours. If we're going to spend a lot of money on equipment and resources, we really need to make sure that everything is looked after properly. Anyway, let's make some notes to see just what needs doing to improve the centre.
Okay. Let's reveal the answers. I think this was easy as well. So, yeah, why do they want to keep the self-access center? Because it's, by the way, there's no variety of equipment and they cannot work alone because they have to share. So actually, yes, because it's a major part of it. And some teachers would prefer to do what? To the self-access center. Yeah. They would like to relocate. So the word relocate means to move. Very good. And the student's main concern is not the size, it is not the lack of materials, but actually in getting help to find teachers to ask or to turn to them when they have something they need to ask about. And the director's main concern is not the cost, it is not the space. Actually, the problem is finding teachers to supervise the center. I think this part is also an easy one. I want you to count your answers, by the way, count your correct answers. Now, before we listen to this part, we need to analyze it. Okay, so here we may find something of, or some part of relevant information. And about the resources. What about the resources? The level of which materials should be shown, should be clearly shown. Which materials? And they need to upgrade which collection? And they need to buy somewhat and divide them up to distribute them to the students. And regarding the use of the room, they need to speak to the teacher and organize what to supervise the center. Can you make a guess about this point? They need to organize what? Any guess? Timetable, very good. Or a schedule, very good, very good. And they need to install what in the room? If you have a room, a library, you need to install a system, okay? What else? Computers, okay. Alarm, you need to use cameras. But you have an, so it should start with what here? The word should start with what? A vowel, very good. So it should be A, E, O, I, something like that. And they need to limit the personal usage of what? On the computers. Let's listen to this part. Ready?
Before you hear questions 25 to 30.
Now, what about the computers? I think it might be a good idea to install some new models. They would take up a lot less room, and so that would increase the workspace for textbooks and so on.
That would be great. It is a bit cramped in there at times.
What about other resources? Do you have a list of things that the students would like to see improved?
Yes, one of the comments that students frequently make is that they find it difficult to find materials that are appropriate for their level, especially reading resources. So I think we need to label them more clearly.
Well, that's easy enough. We can get that organised very quickly. In fact, I think we should review all of the study resources, as some of them are looking a bit out of date.
Definitely. The CD section especially needs to be more current. I think we should get some of the ones that go with our latest course books and also make multiple copies.
Good. Now, I was also thinking about some different materials that we haven't got in there at all. What do you think of the idea of introducing some workbooks? If we break them up into separate pages and laminate them, they'd be a great resource. The students could study the main coursebook in class and then do follow-up practice in the self-access centre.
That sounds good.
OK. Now, finally, we need to think about how the room is used. I'll have to talk to the teachers and make sure we can all reach some agreement on a timetable to supervise the centre after class. But we also need to think about security too, especially if we're going to invest in some new equipment.
What about putting in an alarm?
Good idea. The other thing I'd like to do is talk to our technicians and see whether we could somehow limit the access to email. I really don't want to see that resource misused.
What about if we agree to only use it before and after class?
Yes, that would be fine. Okay, anyway.
Okay, I think that this part is also clear, right? So here are the answers. I want you to check your answers and just count how many correct answers you have, because I'm going to reveal a very important point at the end. I mean that at the end, I'm going to clarify how many correct answers you need to get band 7 or band 8, for example. Okay, done? Now let's move to the last part of our session and the last part of this test, which is great, mashallah, which is part number 4. As I said, you are going to listen to all the questions, one shot. Okay, this time I will not analyze. I'm going to play the audio. I'm going to give you the time to analyze that yourself. So I'm going to play the audio. I'm going to mute.
Section 4. You will hear the beginning of a lecture about business cultures. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Now, whether you're going to university to study business or some other subject, many of you will eventually end up working for a company of some kind. Now, when you first start working somewhere, you will realize that the organization you've joined has certain characteristics. And we often refer to these social characteristics as the culture of the organization. This includes its unwritten ideas, beliefs, values, and things like that. One well-known writer has classified company cultures by identifying 4 major types. The first type is called the power culture, and it's usually found in small organizations. It's the type of culture that needs a central source of power to be effective. And because control is in the hands of just 1 or 2 people, there aren't many rules or procedures. Another characteristic is that communication usually takes the form of conversations rather than, say, formal meetings or written memos. Now, one of the benefits of this culture is that the organization has the ability to act quickly. So it responds well to threat or danger on the one hand, and opportunity on the other. But on the negative side, this type of organization doesn't always act effectively, because it depends too much on 1 or 2 people at the top, and when these people make poor decisions, there's no one else who can influence them. And the kind of person who does well in this type of business culture is one who is happy to take risks, and for whom job security is a low priority. The next type is known as role culture. That's R-O-L-E, not R-O-L-L, by the way. And this type is usually found in large companies, which have lots of different levels in them. These organizations usually have separate departments that specialize in things like finance or sales or maintenance or whatever. Each one is coordinated at the top by a small group of senior managers, and typically everyone's job is controlled by sets of rules and procedures. For example, there are specific job descriptions, rules for discipline, and so on. What are the benefits of this kind of culture? Well, firstly, because it's found in large organizations, its fixed costs, or overheads as they're known, are low in relation to its output or what it produces. In other words, it can achieve economies of scale. And secondly, it is particularly successful in business markets where technical expertise is important. On the other hand, this culture is often very slow to recognize the need for change, and even slower to react. What kind of person does this type of culture suit? Well, it suits employees who value security and who don't particularly want to have responsibility. Moving on now to task cultures. This type is found in organizations that are project-oriented. You usually find it where the market for the company's product is extremely competitive, or where the products themselves have a short lifespan. Usually, top management delegates the projects, the people, and other resources, and once these have been allocated, little day-to-day control is exercised from the top, because this would seem like breaking the rules. Now, one of the major benefits of this culture is that it's flexible, but it does have some major disadvantages too. For instance, it can't produce economies of scale or great depth of expertise.
Okay, I think now we finished this part, so let's have a look at the answers. I'm going to reveal the answers. So these are the answers in front of you. I want to have a look, compare the model answers with your answers. And now I want you to tell me how many correct answers you have in total. I mean, out of 40. How many correct answers out of 40 you have here? 38. Perfect. I said, how many correct answers out of 40? 39. Wow, wow, wow. You did a great job, actually. Now, let me reveal a secret. I told you that 40 out of 40, inshallah. So here are the row marks and or the row scores, and here is the equivalent band score. The equivalent band score. Okay, so if you have a look here. Okay, sorry, just hold on. So actually, it seems that most of you were 31 means 7, band 7, by the way. So 32 means band 7. 33 and 34 means 7.5. Okay? So that's it, actually. That's it. 27 equals 6.5. Okay, very good, very good. You did a great job. And in brief, this is a brief synopsis or a summary of what I said. By the end of the session, I hope that I already facilitated the listening part of the IELTS test to you. I hope that you already found it clear. As I said, Mr. Muhammad, it's the listening test is going to be the same for both academic and general training, so you'll find no differences. So I hope that you already found this session informative, helpful, and beneficial. That's all for today's session. And as I said, I hope you already enjoyed the session.